6, large holes in the road filled with water. This is what families living on the north side had to drive down for years just to get to their homes.
And after several complaints to the city that have gone unanswered, one woman took matters into her own hands.
RTV6's Nicole Griffin is working for you, finding out when and if the city ever makes repairing an alley a priority.
They were huge. They looked like lakes. They're like little lakes in the alley.
Driving down this north side alley just off Keystone Avenue has been hazardous for years.
You go up and you go down. It's almost kind of like a little roller coaster. And then there's water.
The alley is the only way to access Jennifer Denise's dad's home. She's called the Mayor's Action Center and still has an open complaint filed in 2015.
The lady was like, I understand. They just aren't fixing the alleys right now.
But this summer, matters became more urgent. Her father had a stroke and was diagnosed with dementia. He now requires in-home care.
I panicked when they said they were going to send people out to the house. I'm like, how are they going to get to him?
Jennifer hired a company, paid $780, and got stones put down in the alley.
My dad said, oh, it's the city's responsibility, but it's my problem. Like, I have to make sure that you're taken care of, so I have to have someone come out and fill it.
The company hired to do the work reached out to RTV6 upset because they feel like Jennifer shouldn't have to pay to get this work done.
We sent out somebody and he called me and said, oh yeah, this is terrible. You know, one load of stone won't even be enough for this. The holes are so big, you know, the cars are sinking in.
Ann McCurdy is a dispatcher with Brookfield Sand and Gravel. She's taking a personal interest in this situation, even calling the Mayor's Action Center, worried Jennifer will have the same situation in 2 years.
I just hope somebody can take the initiative and we can fix the problem. I don't think she should have to pay for it. If the city could step up, that would be awesome. If there's some private citizens that could step up, that would be awesome.
A city spokesman says, quote, it is not DPW's current direction to prioritize addressing alley requests over street rehabilitation projects. However, more funding for transportation infrastructure maintenance certainly wouldn't hamper our ability to get to a place where we could better address alley issues in the future. Working for you on the north side, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Thanks, Nicole. And RTV6 is working for you. Tonight, the Mayor's Action Center says they have more than 2,300 open cases for alley chuck holes. This could include duplicate calls for the same chuck hole. A spokesman with DPW says they do not receive gas tax revenue for non-named streets like alleys. So only larger thoroughfares and residential streets are considered when allocating funding to Marion County. Since alleys are less traveled, he says city streets with higher traffic volumes must remain the priority. Kyle.
Hopefully you got a chance to enjoy some of the weather today, because anytime we get highs in the 50s in December, you got to take advantage of it. 50 degrees in the city today, and those temperatures are starting to slide back now that we've got those clear skies. We're already to 43 in Indy and Columbus, still 49 though in the Bloomington area. There are clear skies now, but we're kind of getting in on a squeeze play. We're going to have some clouds moving in as we go through the evening hours, but we'll keep it a dry forecast. There you notice those temperatures, once they hit about the upper 30s to around 40, they level off and even come back up just a little bit here as we go through the overnight. Coming up, we got a lot to talk about, including an overall mild stretch the next few days, but rain chances will return, and we've got a big-time cold blast on the way in the 7-day forecast.
Whatever dish I wash, take it to the bathroom sink and wash it there.
Well, imagine having to do dishes in the bathroom because the sink is flooded with sewage. Well, that's a reality for some residents of a Beech Grove apartment complex. Fed up, those people reached out to RTV6 for answers. Troy Washington is working for you to help get the problem solved and finds out what you should keep in mind.
For 2 weeks now, Richard Mouse says this sewage has been standing in his apartment.
This is not only a nightmare, it's a living nightmare.
He's lived in his unit at Diplomat Apartments for 40 years. He wants to continue calling it home, but not like this.
It's like you have to beg them and crawl to get them to do anything.
Many of the residents say they've protected this complex for far too long now. They don't care what speaking out costs them. Residents say at first they were afraid to speak up, but desperation took away that fear.
This is like the last resort that we had.
Jada Wood says her unit isn't flooded, but she says the mold inside of her place is giving her headaches and making her children sick.
There's mold everywhere.
Both Woods and Mount say they've reached out to the health department about their issues and tell RTV6 they've called the complex about their problems too many times to count.
This is just like an ongoing thing.
I spoke with management at the complex. They say they've dealt with the health department recently when it comes to sorting things out. But according to Diplomat Apartments, issues are being resolved and the flooding and mold will be taken care of. Management says the fixes will take time because the repairs are being made to a building built in the 60s. Working for you in Beech Grove, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Well, we've emailed and called the health department twice to find out more about its involvement. We'll let you know what we hear back. And if you ever have safety concerns in your own neighborhood and you aren't getting answers, turn to us. Email us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. The United States House is taking a big step toward impeaching President Trump.
Topping the RTV6 newsfeed today, Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced the House will draft articles of impeachment accusing President Trump of abusing the powers of his office to advance his own political gain. A vote in the full House could come before Christmas, sending the issue to the Senate.
An investigation is underway after a shooting that left a person dead on the east side. IMPD says it happened around 2:30 on the 4800 block of East 19th Street. That's near North Emerson Avenue and Interstate 70. Now, police have not said what led to the shooting or whether officers have identified a suspect.
State police say a suspected drunk driver crashed into a school bus this morning on Interstate 70 near downtown, leaving 2 students hurt. Troopers say they believe a silver car was driving too fast along westbound I-70 near Emerson Avenue just before 9:30 this morning and crashed into a Warren Township school bus. Medics took 2 students and 1 adult passenger on the bus to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police arrested the woman driving the car for allegedly drinking and driving.
Well, this Anderson man has confessed to police that he dropped 2 bikes from an overpass in Madison County because he wanted to kill people. Police arrested 32-year-old Stephen Davis and charged him with criminal recklessness. According to court records, Davis called police and admitted to tossing 2 bikes over the bridge and onto I-69. Police say he said he did it because he wanted to cause a fatal accident. Investigators say Davis told officers that his only regret was that he didn't cause a 10-car pileup and bodies on the ground.
A high-speed chase in Miami, Florida involving a UPS truck ends in gunfire. Miami TV stations are reporting that police said 2 suspects armed with handguns tried to rob a UPS truck. Police say the suspects shot a victim in the head and then sped off in the UPS truck. It is not known if the UPS driver was still in the truck or not. When the truck no longer had anywhere to go, shots were fired. This just ended, so it is unclear exactly what the outcome of this is. The latest is coming up on ABC World News with David Muir.
Republicans in control of the Indiana State House haven't shown signs that the Red for Ed rally dissuade them or to increase funding for education. The Associated Press reports teachers unions and Democrats are calling for the legislature to direct some of the unexpected $400 million growth in the state's cash reserves to schools. That's instead of adopting Governor Eric Holcomb's proposal for using much of that money to pay for construction projects. Today, Republican legislative leaders argue that directing some of that money to schools now would commit the state to a higher level of school funding for future years.
This holiday season, you can give the gift of a forever home to a dog or cat that desperately needs a family to love them. Indianapolis Animal Care Services announced its Home for the Holidays adoption campaign. For the rest of December, IACS will waive adoption fees with the donation of an item from the shelter's wish list. That includes dry and wet cat and dog food, kitty litter, paper towels, hand sanitizer, Kongs, Jolly Balls, and Nyla Bones.
The Muncie Police Department, the chief is stepping down at the end of the year. Chief Joe Winkle tells RTV6 that he is retiring for the 2nd time. Muncie Mayor Dennis Tyler appointed Chief Joe Winkle back in 2016. Chief Winkle's last day on the force is December 30th. Mayor Tyler decided not to run again, and the new mayor has yet to name the next Muncie police chief. Chief Winkle says that he technically was already retired, so he's just going back into retirement. He plans to stay in the Muncie area to be near his grandchildren. Chief Winkle says a federal investigation into some of his officers is still ongoing, and he hopes to see a conclusion very soon. He also served as police chief from 1996 to 2008.
Time is running out for you to get to Monument Circle for our annual toy drive.
We are accepting new toys for children in need until 6:30 tonight, and many of you have already graciously donated to the Six Shines On toy drive.
And if you hurry to Monument Circle, you can meet our own chief meteorologist, Kevin Gregory, who has been helping collect toys all day. Hey, Kevin. Looks like you made some more friends out there.
I'm doing something spontaneous at the last hour. These young ladies have showed up to make a contribution to the toy drive. I'm Kevin.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice
Welcome. What's your name?
Cassie.
So thank you for making a donation. Have you donated in the past?
No.
So how did you come out this year? How did that happen?
It was Mom's idea. Mom got wind of it on the internet, and we wanted to play Santa this year.
See, the beauty of that is we're still growing after 19 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we've got to do one thing.
No.
For Christmas, I'm getting her a Colts hat.
No.
Okay, the tent went up here at 5 a.m. this morning. This is coworker Andrea Collins, and you were here all day long. How fulfilling has this day been?
Today, it's been an awesome day. We couldn't complain about the weather, so thank you, Kevin. And we actually had more toys than we've ever had before. We had to have our first truck leave at 12:30, and it was scheduled to go at 1.
And so we flash back to all those enthusiastic donators today. I've talked about the charitable organizations, mentioned some that will receive these toys, then distribute them.
Yes, so it's all over central Indiana, north, south, east, and west. We're giving to Servants Heart on the south side, Grace Church Care Center on the north side. They're our main distributor of toys. Then we've got Project Angel on the west side and Urban Act Academy on the east side.
And so we were trying to add this up, and it's difficult to do, but about how many children you think will benefit?
I'm thinking at least 5,000, and I'm expecting a surplus of toys. So there are multiple other organizations that we will be able to help.
And that is because of you. So thank you so much for helping us. And of course, we're done collecting tonight on the Circle, 1330 North Meridian. You can donate at Channel 6, at any U-Store location, at an Applebee's restaurant as well. So back to you. I'll join Kyle here in a couple seconds.
All right, Kevin. And it was a lot of fun being down there and meeting all the people who donated today.
And thank you for everyone who came out. Well, a lot of changes have happened in the workplace over the past 2 decades, including robots doing a lot of work.
Yeah, in our Hiring Hoosiers report, Rafael Sanchez finds out why you should not fear automation, including robots.
Pacers fans are eagerly awaiting the return of Victor Oladipo. The road to recovery has made stops in Fort Wayne. What we are learning about Victor's fight to return to the Pacers coming up in sports.
The good news is we have more highs in the 50s in the forecast, but we've also got some highs only in the 20s. We'll get you ready for all those changes. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
For more than a year, our Hiring Hoosiers initiative has connected you to employment opportunities, resources, training, and education.
One of the biggest changes in the workplace over the last 20 years or so is companies are using